The guy is living his best life. He's had a fantastic career, we all know. We know Jon's a religious man, so I want to say God bless him moving forward in what he does with his life and his career. And, you know, we move on. We move on. The contenders are getting sick of it. Everybody's getting sick of it. Even the fans are getting sick of this stuff. So Jon's retired, and it's time that we move on.
This is the greatest promo I've ever heard. He just announced his nemesis' retirement.
Tom Aspinall has voiced his disappointment over the current state of the UFC heavyweight division, which he believes has hit a standstill. Despite the stagnation, he remains committed and willing to step into the octagon against anyone, anytime. Aspinall pointed out that several top-ranked fighters, such as Cyril Gane, Jailton Almeida, and others, seem reluctant to accept new matchups. According to him, many are waiting to see how things unfold at the top of the rankings, rather than risking their position by taking a fight. This cautious approach, he argues, has led to a slowdown across the division. Unlike some of his peers, Aspinall refuses to stay idle. He continues to train relentlessly, focusing on improving his skills and staying prepared. His message is clear: he's not interested in waiting around. He's ready, motivated, and eager to get back in the cage, regardless of who the opponent is.
One thing that your division has not done is a great job. The guys haven't done a great job of saying, okay, after Tom and Jon, I'm next. But I assume that Cyril is. I know you and Cyril got some unfinished business. In your opinion, do you think that Cyril is going to get a real good look there, or do you think it could really be Derek or somebody else next for you?
Oh, it could be anybody. The issue is that the other guys don't want to fight anybody because they might be next themselves. They don't know what's going on at the top.
That's the problem.
And no, everybody else is scared to fight. You got Volkov there, you got Cyril Gane there, you've got Almeida there, you've got some other guys under those guys, and nobody wants to make the next move. The division is just completely stuck. And I'll tell you what, I don't know about you guys, I'm sick of this division being stuck. I'm there, I'm active, I'm ready to go, I'm training all the time, I'm getting better and better all the time, and just stick, man.
Tom Aspinall continues to express his frustration with the current pace of the UFC heavyweight division, which he sees as stagnant. Despite the holdup, he's made one thing crystal clear: he's ready and willing to face anyone, anytime. When speaking with Daniel Cormier, Aspinall didn't mince words. Asked whether the division's top contenders are dodging matchups with him or with each other, he responded bluntly, "Nobody wants to fight." While fans and commentators may suggest potential opponents, Aspinall says the reality is different. He's eager to face anyone, but continues to be declined. According to Tom, he's already let the UFC know he's available and game for any opponent. He emphasized that throughout his entire career, he's never once turned down a fight. The day he starts doing that, he says, is the day he walks away from the sport. Fighting is more than just a profession for Aspinall, it's a lifelong passion. He's been training since the age of 10, and now at 32 with the UFC heavyweight belt. In his sights, he's more driven than ever. All he wants is what he's always wanted: to step into the cage and compete.
Think that those guys would fight you if they were offered that, and are they just unwilling to fight each other?
No, nobody wants to fight, man. I'm the only guy who wants to fight in the division. I'm just like, you know, people keep trying to tell me what to do from the outside. You should fight this guy and fight that. Look, I'm trying to fight everybody, man. I'm trying to fight absolutely everybody. Everybody keeps saying no.
So you've essentially told the UFC, anybody, I will fight any of them.
I never turned down a frigging fight in my life. Never, and I never will. The day I start turning down fights is the day I'm going to retire.
Yeah.
That's when I start turning down fights. I'm here to fight people, man. That's what I do. That's what I'm put on this planet to do, is to train and fight people. That's what I've wanted to do since I was 10 years old. I've been wanting to be the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion since I was 10 years old, man. I'm 32 now.
In his conversation with Daniel Cormier, Tom Aspinall also addressed the buzz among fans suggesting that Jon Jones might be avoiding a showdown with him. Rather than feeding into the narrative, Aspinall redirected the conversation. He questioned why the focus was still on Jon, noting that Jones is effectively retired and no longer part of the active heavyweight scene. Aspinall was quick to clarify that he meant no disrespect. Those who know him, he said, understand that. Trash talk isn't his approach. He even brought up a comment he made in the past, saying he would retire Jon Jones without ever fighting him. Looking at how things unfolded, Aspinall believes that's essentially what happened. For him, the Jon Jones chapter is already closed. Now he's focused on what lies ahead: new challenges, fresh opponents, and the path to securing his place. At the top of the division,
What is your thought about people going, well, he's afraid of Tom Aspinall? Like, you don't believe, Tom, that Jon Jones is afraid.
Guys, why are we still talking about Jon? He's retired. He's done. I said a thing a long time ago, and you guys know me personally. I'm not a disrespectful guy.
Yeah, you're not.
But I said a thing a long time ago that I'm going to retire Jon without even fighting him. And
He did.
Paddy Pimblett also weighed in on the much-discussed possibility of a Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones clash, calling it a fight that simply needs to happen. Speaking about a recent UFC event in London where he sat alongside Tom, Paddy shared that the two even discussed the hypothetical matchup that night. Pimblett didn't hold back in his praise for Aspinall, calling him one of the most genuine and down-to-earth figures in the sport. Despite his strong support for Tom, however, Paddy admitted that if the fight were to happen, he couldn't bet against Jon Jones. He explained that, in his view, Jones possesses an unmatched fight IQ and a remarkable ability to tailor the perfect strategy for any opponent. That ability, Paddy said, is what sets Jones apart and makes him arguably the greatest fighter of all time, even if his heart would be rooting for Aspinall.
Do you think the Aspinall-Jones fight happens?
It's got to happen. I was sitting next to Tom the other week at the UFC in London and talking to him about it.
How do you think that plays out if they fight?
I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against Jon Jones. The one thing I do think Jon Jones has got the best in the world and the best ever is his fight IQ. He has a perfect game plan to beat that person. As much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, I couldn't.
On the flip side, Eddie Hall expressed strong confidence in Tom Aspinall's ability to challenge and potentially defeat Jon Jones if they ever met in the octagon. While Hall gave full respect to Jones's legendary career and the accolades he's earned, he believes Aspinall brings a unique set of tools to the table. In Hall's view, Tom's combination of athleticism, technical precision, and explosive rise through the ranks makes him a legitimate threat to anyone, even a fighter as seasoned and accomplished as Jon Jones. He highlighted Aspinall's speed and well-rounded skill set as key factors that could pose serious problems. For the former champion, Eddie Hall didn't hesitate to throw his support behind Aspinall, saying he could very well be the man to take down a legend.
Aspinall. So if you don't know MMA world, sorry to bore you, but Tom Aspinall is the UFC's #1 right now. Jon Jones is, he's seen as the best MMA fighter on the planet. Dana White's got a massive for him, says he's unbeatable. Honestly, I think if you put Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall in a room and said one man leaves, I think Tom Aspinall leaves that room. I genuinely do. I think, and I think Jon Jones, I mean, I can't badmouth the guy. He's got an amazing record, but he's definitely ducking Tom Aspinall, 100%. And I think he's even said he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall after his next fight. He's pretty much going to retire after this fight, so he's ducking Tom.
Eddie Hall didn't stop at simply backing Tom Aspinall as a worthy challenger. He also openly questioned Jon Jones's willingness to take the fight. Hall suggested that Jones might be avoiding the matchup, hinting that it could be more about fear than strategy. He challenged the idea that greatness is maintained by selective matchups, saying that true champions prove themselves by accepting the toughest tests, not by sidestepping them. In Hall's opinion, if the fight ever came together, Aspinall wouldn't just rise to the occasion, he'd walk out of the cage with his hand raised.
He can say what he wants, but actions speak louder than words. So, there we go. Anyway, the answer to that question is Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is kicking Jon Jones.
Meanwhile, Bilal Muhammad sees Tom Aspinall as one of the most dangerous challenges Jon Jones could ever face. He pointed to Aspinall's explosive speed, knockout power, and the overall evolution of today's heavyweight fighters as key reasons why Tom is such a serious threat. While Muhammad still gives a slight edge to Jones in a hypothetical matchup, he doubts the fight would materialize unless the payday was massive. In his view, Jones would only consider stepping into the cage with Aspinall if the purse hit somewhere between $30 to $50 million. Bilal also mentioned that UFC President Dana White would almost certainly push hard to make the fight happen due to its massive commercial appeal. However, he questioned whether Jon would be motivated enough to accept it, given that his legacy is already firmly cemented. Instead, Muhammad believes Jones might prefer a high-profile super fight, perhaps against someone like Alex Pereira, if the stakes are greater, either in terms of legacy or financial reward.
Jon Jones, like, a lot of people consider him the GOAT, the best fighter ever do it. The next hungry lion is Aspinall. It's probably the toughest fight that he'll have. Like, this guy's the next generation. He's a lot stronger, a lot faster. But I think Jon Jones is good enough to beat him. But it's like, it has to be worth it. The fans are fickle, right? You lose one fight, they're gonna, he sucks. Right? They just care about your last win or your last loss. I think Dana White and them will end up making it. Dana White's a smart businessman. He knows how much money that fight would make. If I'm Jon Jones, you've already done everything in the sport. It's not worth it unless it's that $30 million, $50 million payday. If I'm Jon Jones, I'm picking out Pereira first over Aspinall.
When asked by Daniel Cormier about a recent interview that implied he and Jon Jones were on the same page, both leaving it up to the UFC to determine their next steps, Tom Aspinall didn't hesitate to clear the air. He firmly denied any such arrangement, emphasizing that Jon Jones is retired and no longer part of the active competition. Aspinall admitted he doesn't even follow Jones on social media, joking that he suspects most people probably don't either. From what he has seen, though, it looks like Jones is enjoying life outside the octagon, and Tom has no issue with that. He gave Jones credit for an incredible career, and knowing Jones's fate, wished him all the best moving forward. For Aspinall, the focus isn't on Jon anymore. That chapter is closed. His eyes are firmly set on the future, and whoever stands between him and the UFC heavyweight title.
Sounds to me, recently I saw an interview where it says you and Jon are aligned, and you guys have decided together to allow for the UFC to tell you what you're doing. Is that true?
Nah, man, Jon's retired. What are we talking about, guys? Jon, you guys don't follow Jon on social media?
I don't follow him on social media. He said that.
No, me too, actually. Me too, but the guy is living his best life. He's had a fantastic career, we all know. We know Jon's a religious man, so I want to say God bless him moving forward in what he does with his life and his career. And, we move on.
Tom Aspinall didn't mince words when asserting his place in the division. He declared himself the rightful, undisputed UFC heavyweight champion and made it clear he's ready for whoever dares to step up. He stressed that the division can't afford to stay stagnant any longer. Too many contenders have been left waiting, and fans are growing increasingly frustrated with the lack of movement. In Aspinall's eyes, the solution is simple. With Jon Jones now retired, it's time to turn the page. Tom called for fresh matchups, renewed momentum, and a commitment to keeping the heavyweight division active. He's prepared to lead that charge, belt in hand and ready to defend it against anyone.
Undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I'm ready to take on all comers, get this division moving again. Us guys have been waiting around too long. You know, the contenders are getting sick of it. Everybody's getting sick of it. Even the fans are getting sick of this stuff. So Jon's retired and it's time that we move.
Rampage Jackson spoke with deep respect for Jon Jones, emphasizing that very few fighters have what it takes to beat him. Reflecting on their own fight, Rampage admitted that even in peak condition, he couldn't find a way to overcome Jones's skill and strategy. While Rampage acknowledged Tom Aspinall as a talented and legitimate contender, he didn't view him as a significant threat to Jones's dominance. He also shared that he's heard Jones plans to spend 6 months studying Aspinall's style ahead of a potential matchup, something Rampage sees as a testament to Jones's calculated and strategic approach. Drawing a vivid comparison, Rampage likened Jones to Neo from The Matrix, praising his exceptional ability to read opponents, control the fight, and set the tempo, qualities that make Jones a truly unique and dominant force in the sport.
About Jon Jones back in the day, people are
why you only bringing up my losses?
People are all talking about Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. How do you see that fight going? You got Tom or you got Jon?
Man, I don't think there's nobody on this planet that can beat Jon Jones because I was in there with him. I was at my best, and I've never lost a fight at my best until Jon Jones. And, you know, no disrespect to Tom Aspinall, but he a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? I think he's probably second best out there, but I don't see him.
You think Jon Jones finishes him?
I think Jon Jones is just a real smart fighter. I heard something like he want to take 6 months before he fight Aspinall. I think it's because he want to study him. He want to break him down, you know. Jon Jones ain't no fool. He's probably one of the smartest fighters out there. I say he like Neo. He's Neo.
Additionally, Dries du Plessis praised Tom Aspinall's passion and relentless determination, while acknowledging that Jon Jones is likely approaching the final stages of his extraordinary career. He expressed hope that Jones can complete his legacy without any major setbacks. At the same time, du Plessis believes Aspinall is the fighter best positioned to lead the heavyweight division into the future. He also recognized Jones's uncanny ability to dismantle even the toughest opponents, underscoring why Jones continues to be regarded as one of the all-time greats in the sport.
He's young, he's hungry. You have Jones, who is definitely at the end of his career, 38 years old. I don't need to see this because he's never been beaten. I want Jon Jones to retire unbeaten, and I want him to retire, and Aspinall goes on to be the next big thing. But Jon Jones, being the warrior that he says, pay me enough and I'm doing it. Aspinall wants it, and one of them has to lose that fight. And that's the one thing, you look at it and go, Aspinall's probably going to win. But then, if you ask me that, I say, no. We've said that so many times with Jon Jones, and it makes it look easy. He is the greatest of all time.
Meanwhile, Francis Ngannou highlighted that a fight against Jon Jones would be a pivotal moment for Tom Aspinall to firmly establish himself among the sport's elite. Ngannou pointed out that while Jones might gain more financially from the bout, Aspinall's strong wrestling base and impressive ground game make him a significantly tougher challenge than fighters like Alex Pereira.
Aspinall will need that fight. I don't need it. When you look at it, pretty much true. There's nothing that he's going to make winning that fight if it's not money. But for Aspinall, that will be everything.
Would you rather see him face Aspinall or would you rather see him face Pereira?
Aspinall will be a more challenging fight because Aspinall responds to a ground game better than Pereira. Aspinall will respond better in wrestling than Pereira. He can do it.
Furthermore, Demetrius Johnson commended Tom Aspinall's abilities, but expressed the belief that Jon Jones would likely manage the matchup with relative ease. Johnson showed more excitement about a potential Jones versus Aspinall fight compared to one against Alex Pereira, anticipating that Jones would deliver a dominant performance. He also mentioned that Aspinall's rumored $30 million price tag might be a sticking point slowing down negotiations for the bout.
Jones will smoke Tom Aspinall.
I don't know, man.
He'll smoke Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall is athletic. I think Tom Aspinall would try to take the fight to Jon Jones. And it'll be interesting to see. Like, I'd rather see that fight over Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I agree. I would like to see that fight over Alex, but come on, man. Aspinall is a great fighter. Yep. He's a good champion.
Aspinall.
That's what I said. Jon Jones will smoke Aspinall.
Yeah.
Smoke him.
I can't wait to see. I hope it happens. That's the fight that needs to happen. I think Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones needs to happen.
Why do you think there's so much friction there? Why do you think it's not happening? Why? Because we see so much on the internet.
However, Frank Mir acknowledged Tom Aspinall as a serious challenge for Jon Jones, but still leaned in favor of Jones because of his superior wrestling abilities. Mir believed Jones could effectively neutralize Aspinall's jiu-jitsu through better control and precise ground striking. He also pointed out that a win over Aspinall wouldn't significantly enhance Jones's legacy, as Jones is already firmly established as one of MMA's all-time greats.
I think Tom might have the best chance of anybody to beat Jon right now. But that being said, I still think Jon wins the fight just because of his wrestling. I think he puts, Tom on his back and is able to nullify his jiu-jitsu from being top position with his elbows and control. What does Jon win to take that fight? He goes out there and beats Tom. Is it really going to make or break his career? I don't think.
Meanwhile, Israel Adesanya noted that Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall are quite comparable in size, with Aspinall having a slight edge in height and weight. He praised Aspinall's remarkable speed, but emphasized Jones's superior ground game as a key advantage. Adesanya concluded by saying that without a matchup between the two, fans will never get a definitive answer on who the better fighter truly is.
But he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick. Yeah. And I was like, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. Yeah. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt, but Jon is different. Yeah. But I don't know, man. They got to fight. But if they don't ever...
That wraps up today's video. What do you think? Is Jon Jones avoiding a fight with Tom Aspinall? We'd love to hear your take, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. And before you go, check out the other videos on your screen right now.